Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach Jason, welcome back. Happy holidays. Hope you're enjoying some time with your loved ones, and Happy New Year as well. May 2021 be better than 2020. I'm going to continue on with my series, and what I started was 5 workouts to help you get to help you run a sub 20-minute 5K. You'll see it in the description down below, as well as a bunch of other videos that I'll go through in a minute. I'm going to do this series, okay? Each video is going to have 5 workouts. Okay, and I'm going to take you all the way down to sub 15 by the minute. So sub 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and 15. Then I'm going to round back to sub 20 again and do 5 more workouts and take you all the way back down to sub 15 again. So it's going to be you'll have at least 10 workouts at your disposal that you could use to help yourself or your athletes achieve these milestones. These are workouts that I have used for over 2 decades plus as a coach with success, and I want to share with you. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a middle distance runner or distance runner, they're all applicable to train for a 5K. And the reason why I'm doing a 5K series is because it's probably the most frequently run distance in the world. Whether it's big track, cross country, on the roads. This is a marathon. There's a lot of folks that run the marathon, but a 5K is kind of that distance where people who don't want to necessarily run the long ones gravitate towards the 5K. It's also common in high school and in some college as well, and obviously post-collegiates. There's a ton of 5K. You can find a 5K anywhere. And the other cool thing about a 5K is you can run one on Saturday, recover, and come back the following Saturday. That's where it differs from longer races like the half marathon and marathon. So it's a lot more user-friendly and flexible, and you have a lot more opportunities to run them. So I think you'll find these workouts helpful. And I'll also I've got fully detailed training programs, sub 20 all the way down to sub 15 as well for 5K. I have it broken down over 12 weeks, plus as a by the day, by the week, by the month. So take a look at those. And if you have some athletes that are just under 20 and the next goal is sub 19, look at the progression, okay, and workouts. And then if you have some in between 19 and 18, look at the progression. You'll see how much faster the workouts get, and so on, and the runs and such. And I'm doing the same thing with these workouts. For the first series, all the 5 workouts are going to be the same, but you'll see the progression in pace. So you know exactly how to get from one milestone to the next. I did all the data calculating already, and the paces I'm going to do, whether they be a 10K pace or 5K or 3K or mile, they represent sub 20 or sub 19 or sub 18. In this particular instance, sub 19 minute 5K. So the 3K pace would be the 3K equivalent of a sub 19, 10K pace equivalent, mile pace equivalent. So tells you what your current fitness is and then how to build towards your goal fitness, okay? And it is important to train at your current paces. So, and I'll talk about that in a little while. So with that, let's get to some of these workouts, okay? The first one is 3 to 4 times 1 mile, okay? Mile repeats, 3 to 4 of them. Now, there's a couple of little ingredients I want to add to this, okay? Firstly, let's talk about the 10% rule, okay? I wouldn't start doing 3 times a mile until you're running or your athletes are running at least 30 miles per week. It should be no less or no more than 10% of the weekly mileage, okay? And in terms of 4 times a mile, I would not encourage anybody to do that until they're at least running 40 miles per week. Again, the 10% rule. And I generally wouldn't go beyond much more than 4 miles of longer repeats at 5K pace. It's hard to run 5 times a mile at 5K pace. I don't know many people who can do it. 4 at 5K pace, that's a daunting workout, but it's doable. Now, there's a couple of different ways I want to break this workout down. So you have some, going from your younger, less experienced athletes to your more experienced athletes. Let's stick with the first option here, okay? Let's stick with goal pace, okay? And in this situation, a sub 19 is 6:04 to 6:06 per mile, okay? And so let's just say this way. You're going to run this workout 3 times, week 4, week 8, week 12, okay? Obviously, what you do in between the workouts is important, but let's say you're going to try to run 6:04 to 6:06 per mile for all 3 of the workouts. One way to do it is start at 5 minutes rest recovery for the first workout, then go to 4 minutes, and then go to 3 minutes, which is a sweet spot for the mile repeats. That's a sign of progression, running the same pace but cutting the recovery along the way. That might work for some of your athletes. Additionally, here's another option. Your current pace, let's just say you're currently running 6:20 per mile, and you're working your way down to 6:04 to 6:06. This is an opportunity to do where you're at right now. Let's just say you're at 6:20 per mile, but the rest is going to stay at 3 minutes now. But each time you do the workout, you're gonna, drop 5 seconds or 7 seconds per mile. So you're at 6:20, and then the same next time you do, you're down to 6:12, 6:13, and then the third time you're down to 6:04, 6:06. That might work better for some as well. So the progression, the progression rate is beneficial in both ways, but it's up to you to figure out which one works better for yourself or for your athletes, because not everybody is going to respond the same way to these workouts. Okay, and this is where the other paces. And that's why I mention the other paces, because 5Ks and I talk about a mile time trial quite often. They tell you a lot. Okay, if you're doing these workouts and you're closer to your 10K equivalent than you are your 3K equivalent and your mile, then it's a sign of improving the shorter distance stuff, your speed development, and your lactic threshold equivalent, your anaerobic threshold. On the flip side, if you're closer to the 3K in the mile than you are the 10K, it's a sign to improve or enhance your aerobic training, maybe long runs or longer thresholds, your aerobic threshold, longer reps, and so on and so forth. So it tells you a lot. So does a mile time trial, which is why I encourage a lot of folks to do it. My athletes do it, and it gives you an idea of what your current fitness is after a good 6 to 8 weeks of base running, and then you can set your training paces. How do you know what the paces are? I actually have a video on the 1 mile time trial, and I did that from 8 minutes all the way down to 4 minutes in 20-second increments. And I did a video on how to set the right training paces for everything based on what you run for the 1 mile time trial. So look at that too. So you'll see exactly what paces you need to run and how well they correspond to these. Okay. So back to the mile repeats. Again, it's 3 to 4 times a mile at or progressing towards the goal pace, which is 6:04 to 6:06 per mile. Okay, that's workout 1. Workout 2 is 6 to 8 by 800 meters with a 2-minute recovery at your equivalent 3K pace, which here is 255 to 256 per rep. Okay, so now you're looking at like 550 to 552 per mile. That's your 3K equivalent to the 5K. Again, your younger, less experienced athletes can start at 6 reps. Your more experienced athletes can work towards 8 reps, okay? You may need some athletes or some of your middle distance runners who might need to do 2 sets of 3 or 2 sets of 4. It really depends on need and ability to handle hard work and so on and so forth. So it's, again, knowing your athletes is important because it'll help put you in a position to get to these points. That's workout 2. Workout 3 is a 20-minute or 4-mile consecutive tempo run. I call it sub-T or at equivalent 10K pace, okay, which in this case is 6:17 to 6:19 per mile, which is about 15 seconds per mile slower than your 5K pace. Okay, and if you can get to the point where you're doing up to 4 miles, which is essentially your anaerobic threshold run, okay, the aerobic threshold is essentially 30 to 60 minutes at a slower pace, but this is a good anaerobic threshold workout to do. You build up to that point. And if you're not familiar with how to build up to it, I'll put a video down below as well, which I did on how to build up your tempo runs from scratch, so you can get to the point where you're safely running up to 20 minutes or 4 miles or even longer. So look at that video as well. If you're gonna watch any videos, watch them from beginning to end because I explain everything. Okay, and so again, and after this, after I do my 2 more workouts, I'm gonna take you to the whiteboard and I'll show you what everything looks like. So everything I'm explaining right now, it'll be written out for you so you can write it down, okay? But watch the rest of it so you can see how I explain stuff. So again, it's 6 to 8, 20 to minute consecutive or 4 miles of consecutive tempo run. It's 6:17 to 6:19 per mile. Take a 5-minute recovery and then maybe do some acceleratory running. Or I encourage you to do some acceleratory running like 100-meter sprints or 200 meters afterward, whether it be uphill 1 week, flats the following week. And this is a good time right now. We're heading into the winter months where base building is key, and there's really not a ton of races on the horizon right now with what's going on. So this is a really good opportunity to put in a good stretch of running. And if you could do a bunch of weeks of tempo runs and threshold running and stuff like that, and do some speed work on the back end of it, you're going to come out really, really fit. Your athletes are going to get really, really fit. So keep that in mind. Workout number 4 is a 10K rolling fartlek, okay, over rolling terrain. So you do your warm-up, your drills, your strides, and everything, and then you do a timed 10-kilometer pace, 6.25 miles, and there'll be some acceleratory components in, and afterward you obviously do your cool down. Okay, so the accelerations will be anywhere between 2 minutes upwards, that's close to 10K pace, and 30 seconds down to mile pace, okay, which the pace range here, they go from 6:18 to 5:52 per mile. Okay, so the longer ones will be closer to 6:18, the shorter ones closer to 5:52. But this gives you an opportunity to vary paces and throw pace surges. And this is something that the Kenyans do a lot, notoriously in races. They fartlek stuff because what does it do? It throws people off rhythm. It takes the kick out of a lot of kickers. So it's a really good strategic thing. So if you practice fartleking, and that's something that they do religiously. I encourage athletes to do religiously as well, particularly if you're training for longer stuff. It can really, really put you in a position to be competitive in a lot of races where you thought you didn't think you would be, but it also gives you an opportunity to touch base with all the different pace training, all the different pace ranges, whether it be 10K pace, 5K, 3K, mile pace, 800 pace, and so on. And I encourage everybody, at least the way my training programs are set up, it's multi-pace training so that you're hitting every pace over a 3 to 4 week cycle, more than once if you can. And it'll set you up for long-term and short-term and long-term success. So that's why I do it. That's why I plug it in here as well. So again, it's a rolling fartlek. Remember, it's not completely flat. If you don't have hills available, then you don't have hills available. But I forgot to mention, there's a 1 minute recovery jog in between each rep. So however you lay it out, you do the 1 minute recovery. And if you want to, there are two ways you could do this. So you could do the hard parts harder as you repeat this workout, or the recovery jog a little bit faster. Which is a hard thing to do, but it's a really good sign of indicator of improved fitness as well. You can speed up the recovery jogs, those 1 minute jogs, as you do this fartlek. So, which really makes it a race simulation workout. So that's workout 4. And last but not least, workout number 5 is 3 sets of broken mile. I have this laid out at 600 and 1,000. Okay, each set. You do a 600 meter effort at 3K pace. You take a 2 minute recovery, and then you go right into a 1,000 meter effort at 5K pace. And then you take a 5 minute recovery, and you repeat for 3 sets. So it's 3 times a mile, 3 miles of total running. The 3K pace reps will be between maybe 208 and 209 per rep, which is 3K pace. And then the thousands will be a 5K pace, which in this case is 346 to 347 per rep. Okay, and training at 3K to 5K pace is a really, really good zone for middle distance runners and distance runners to be training in. That's where you can really, really optimize your fitness and your threshold capacity and stuff. So this is a good workout to simulate. Not only that, but to get you ready for pace variations in a race too. So those are the 5 workouts. I'm going to repeat this same sequence of 5 throughout the whole series, like I mentioned, but you'll see how much faster the workouts get. And that way you'll know, okay, what do I need to do for the next workout? So you can watch this, and then you can watch the next one and see if you have any athletes that are close to that. Okay, well, this is how much faster we need to build towards over time. And for the requisite workouts after that as well, videos after that, you'll see the progression. And then after that, I'll come back and I'll do a whole new series of 5 workouts. So you'll have 10 at your disposal, and I'll repeat the same sequence, the progression in pace from the workouts to get you from here to there. Okay, it's all laid out. The calculations are all done already, so you don't have to do that work. So if you found this helpful, please hit the thumbs up. Your thumbs up is always helpful anyway. And please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Particularly if you're a coach or an athlete, you want a lot of good content. I want this to be the best running channel out there. So if you do subscribe, please let me know that you did, and so I can personally thank you in the comments. Now let me just take you over here to the whiteboard so you can see how everything's laid out. All right. So let me move that glare out of there. I'll take you through it. So again, workout 1, 3 to 4 times a mile, 3 minute recovery, or upwards of 5, and you work down to 3, depending on what you prefer. At 606 to 604 per rep. Okay, 5K pace. The next workout, number 2, 6 to 8 by 800 meters with a 2 minute recovery at 3K pace, 255 to 256. Workout 3, a 20 minute or 4 mile continuous tempo if you can get to that point, at 617 to 619 per mile. Then you take a 5 minute active recovery, and then you do some acceleration work afterward. Okay, at your preference. Number 4 is a 10K rolling fartlek, 10 kilometers. Okay, 1 to 2 minute efforts with 1 minute easy recovery running after each rep. Okay, you can even go down to 30-second efforts at 618 to 552 per mile. That's the pace range. Okay, and last but not least, workout 5 is 3 sets of 600, 1,000. The 600 at 3K pace, 1,000s at 5K pace. So you take a 2 minute after the recovery after the 600, and they're running 209 to 210. Then you take a 5 minute after the 1,000 rep, and they're running 346 to 347. Okay, so those are the 5 workouts. Let me know what you think, and be on the lookout for the next one after this, because it's going to be 5 workouts to get you under sub 18 minutes for 5K. So keep an eye out for that. Be safe. Look out for each other. And I'll talk to you next time.